You checking the stream apps or turn it off? Gotcha, my YouTube. Kevin Ski.
You and me. Couldn't have done it without you. Thanks for your help there. Good luck out there. With me. It's like the L&B was never at the Queen's Tunnel. Oh, man. Good luck out there. Freezing my butt off.
Yeah. I got 2 faces mouse ring.
Ain't seen nothing.
Oh, listen, 2 faces gloves. Get James Green on it. Give me that thing, demons.
Freezing my butt off.
You mean smooth? Smooth is the man that really far behind me. Usually picking anything. I got all again prison call though. I a little bored to be honest. If I bored, I shake. I'm bored. Man, I'm bored, man. What after? What doing after? Why? I can't in the begin with.
Glad you're back. Study up. Let's get...
blue Space Marine team. Tolali has switched to a Tech Marine, starts off range combat, does some good damage, can also support with structures and repair. And this is Blood Ravens again from Tolali alongside Keltos has switched to the Apothecary support commander that fights in melee combat by default, begins with a targeted heal and a passive health regeneration aura. And rounded off the Space Marine team is Tiger as a force commander, very good offense, fights in melee combat, can also tank, disrupt and support with buffs using the Space Wolves elite scheme. Recolored Red Eldar team with Dark Riku as a Warp Spider Exarch teleporting commander that fights range combat, great for capping and harassing with some awesome control abilities too. And alongside our two Eldar Farseers, first up as Hey people, into here 3v3 faction war. This is Ashes of Typhon and Space Marines versus Eldar game 3 for the blue Space Marine team. We have triple force commanders. First up is Tiger, we have Keltos, and we have Twalali. Offensive commanders that excel in melee combat, can also tank, disrupt and support with buffs. For the red Eldar team, two Farseers as last game, Adilla and Asmodeus. These are support commanders that fight in melee combat, lots of great buffs with some debuffs and control abilities too. And rounding off the team is Dark Riku with his Warp Spider Exarch, teleporting commander that fights range combat, great for capping and harassing with some awesome control abilities too. So Ashes of Typhon then, a map you very rarely see played. For those that aren't familiar with the faction wars, the first map is always randomly selected with a map random selector thing that I have, and then it's the losing team that chooses the map. So this was a Space Marine pick since they lost the first game and tied the series at 1-1. So yeah, Asmon and Adilla especially not entirely pleased with the map choice. The map itself isn't bad apart from one rather major thing. This players 1 and 6 start right next to each other, and they have this really weird game where they fight over this contested power and try and sneak over to the natural VP. It was obviously designed for team free-for-all with 3 teams of 2 right next to each other, which is a shame that he didn't change it for the 3v3 mode, because it's actually a nice looking and nice playing map in the other part of it. I quite like it otherwise, but yeah, I suppose we could just move the bases, but then you'd have tons of unused space in the west, would be a little odd. But anyway, let's get back to the game. It's 1-1 in the series, so, and on the cap, Space Marine is the champions for a long time now, having defeated the Orcs, the Tyranids and the Imperial Guard. Can they remain champions here? Can anyone stop the Space Marine Juggernaut? Eldar have their chance. We'll see how they do. Asmon supporting this west side here. Maybe wants to go and decap that VP. Riku now fighting 2 on the east. And you usually see 2v2 fights here because there's 2 natural powers and a contested power, and of course the contested VP right here. You have a contested rec point in mid. The other natural power not that far away either, and a couple of rec points on the west side. It really is an odd map. Not bad odd, but it's odd. I suppose it's quite annoying to be one of these 2 players. Adilla can't really exploit his mobility at all, apart from using gates to sneak over here. 4 at 6, 4, 5, 7. That could win them this game if they can use gates to get to this VP, because it's not easy to defend for these 2 players. It's quite a ways away for them, especially if they're engaged up here. Triple gens up for the Eldar, 2 gens here for the Space Marines. We have Devastators for Twalali, who's lost his scouts. Devastators also for Keltos, and double tax into Assault Marines for Tiger. Banshees on the field for all 3 Eldar players. There's a war shout. Are these Banshees done for on retreat? Should the Assault Marines have jumped them? Looks like they are going to get away here. 486, 449, and the Space Marines will take the contested VP. What is this scheme that Tiger's using? Oh, it's the Lunar Wolves elite scheme, recolored a very shiny red. It's like they're covered in blood or something. Those massive old school jetpacks on the Assault Marines. 486, 449. Howling Banshees forced off, yes they are, and double tax forced off as well. Wow, Sniper Scouts taking shots. Very nearly wiped out those Dire Avengers if they could have get close enough to it for another shot there. Shuriken jumped and forced off. And Space Marines will take it, and they have the 2-to-1. But look at this, Eldar have triple gens up on the contested power. Wow. Adilla versus Tolali in this very bizarre fight on the west side. Jumped and forced off. Devastate. I don't think you can shoot over this thing. I think that's a shot blocker. Need a way to deal with the Devastators. No sign of any Rangers though. Could try and flank around here or flank around here. Well, that's quite a long way to go. Oh, down goes the Warp Star Exile. That must have been really satisfying. That gen was almost bashed. 486, 427, 2-to-1 for the Space Marines. But it's the Eldar that hit tier 2 first, having that full gen farm. Space Marines, I don't think, even realised. Now they're going to have a look at it. And they're going after the node to try and steal. So they should. Going on west side here. Farseer catches some Devastators in retreat. Can't get a model, but there's a grenade. And they do get a model with that. Uh-oh. Here comes the Submarines, but they instantly retreat out. Jumping into the path of the Guardian Weapon team with the Shuriken Cannon. Asmon taking back red team's natural for the Eldar. It's a double cap briefly. 486, 382. Shuriken here taking hits. Has he seen it? Yes, he has seen it. Could use a grenade to scare them off. There it is. They're happy to just waltz through it, but here comes some Howling Banshees out of nowhere, just flying into view and taking out 2 models, I think. No, 1 model. That's a lucky escape with 2 models. Really lucky escape. 87 hit points on 2 models. 486, 360. Oh, they're not stealing, they're bashing. Well, they stole 1 gen, bashed 2. Here we see Flamer Tactical Marines for Keltos. And they might get a full bash here with 3 tacks, a Flamer on one of them, and scouts and stuff. Yeah, they're going to lose all those gens. Webway Gate here for Adilla, so he can get in it and go somewhere else. Isn't that Asmon's Webway Gate? Since it's red, why does it say Adilla on it? Maybe it's just Adilla's and it looks weird when it's simple red. Not sure. 486, 339. Devastator's caught by Banshees. And look where the Shuriken's got to. Uh-oh. Devastator's getting stuck in retreat again. And going down. They might have got taken anyway. 486, 318 is a triple cap for the Space Marines. Eldar again struggling to stay in the field. Just don't have the durability for it right now. 486, 498. Banshee is getting jumped. Here comes the Farseer to help out with a heal. Yes, helps out greatly with the heal. Here's the Falcon from Dark Riku, showing its rear armor to those double tacks, but they don't have missile launchers. Soon one of them will. And the Chainsword and Storm Shield for the Force Commander, going for a full support Force Commander with the Storm Shield, and now the Sacred Standard out in tier 2. So a constant damage buff and a really powerful damage resistance buff that he can toggle as well. Not to mention Battle Cry going off maybe. But it does give you less energy for defend, which drains his energy. Devastator's here trying to get away. The Eldar need to take their natural back here. It's a triple cap and the Space Marines running away with it in terms of VPs. Tolali only has 2 squads. But it's the east side that typically wins this game unless the west side player dominates so much that he can control this VP for a long time. Falcon on the field for Adilla. Shuriken gets inside to escape the Wrath. Oh, there's Assault Marines missile launcher getting a shot in, but the Falcon quick enough to get away after noticing the first hit. Banshees will also get away, I think, but that's a no. Oh my goodness, that tracking special of the Force Commander is so good and wipes those Banshees out.
Buggies?
Melter bomb on the Falcon, but they can't come into base and chase it down. 484, 181. Falcon here under pressure as well. Wraith Guard for Asmon. Tries to get them out of pressure. War Shout will help them get out of that pressure. Double missile launcher tactical marines for Tiger. That Falcon is sure going to be under pressure here. But there's defend from the Force Commander, given suppression immunity to the assault marines, and they just leap on that shuriken and wipe it out. Wraith Guard though taking 2 models, I think, with a volley there. Ouch. A good tool to use versus the Wraith Guard. You won't get suppressed and you have the damage resistance. That's a Psychic Storm. Not suppressing this stuff though because of that defend. Doing a really good job with that. They need to try and focus down this Force Commander. Wow. Double Sacred Standard here. Is that stacking? That is going to be so painful if that's stacking. A Thunderhammer for Keltos also. Where's he going to go down here? Grenade is not thrown by Asmon. Might have been on cooldown. And no, doesn't get away. But there you see the improved buff from the Sacred Standard now that he's down. Goes up to a 40% damage buff, I believe, from 25. Which seems mental. But hey, your Force Commander has to go down to activate that. 395, 181. Now the Eldar are going to get a brief triple. No, they're not. Tactical Marines taking back their natural with a missile launcher. Dark Riku down to just 2 units. Lost his Falcon, has Howling Banshees and Dire Avengers. Adilla has some Wraith Guard, getting the Warlock. Can they keep the Space Marines away from this crazy buffing Force Commander that's down there? What is this? Warp Spider's being pulled in by Riku? Yes, it is. 367, 181. Maybe those guys can frustrate those Assault Marines. Look at this Space Marine push on the east side. Force Commander back on his feet. Tiger levels to 3. Smack. Smack. The Thunderhammer is just... It spells death for Banshees. They just get wrecked by that tracking special. Even if they use Fleet to try and get away, if that animation begins, they're going to get wrecked by it. And since they're knocked down, the Force Commander can catch up to them again and just do the animation again. Oh, there we see the... And wow, that was pretty lucky. He got 2 passive knockbacks. That's a 15% chance to passively knock back the target on hit, and he got it twice in a row. Wraith Guard taking the bomb. Adilla doing well down here. He has triple gens up as well. Doing really well down here against Twilali. Has the VP, has triple gens, has the Falcon, has a Shuriken Guard in it. Maybe he should keep the pressure up here, try and keep this VP. He is doing so. Wraith Guard taking shots against Keltos' Force Commander. Sniper Scouts who will do good damage to the Wraith Guard, since snipers do good damage to all infantry types. But the Wraith Guard are pretty tanky as they are. Melter Bomb on rear armor of the Falcon. Can it live? Just double Assault Marines for Twilali. Wow. That's going to get a shot in, and that's another melter, and down it goes. What's going on here though? Farseer with the Doombringer. It grants Doom, which pretty much does what it says. It increases the damage that a enemy unit takes. Force Commander is forced to retreat for 337, 175, 2-to-1 cap for the Space Marines. And Keltos over here shooting up a node with las cannon. Double las cannons. No wonder that Falcon didn't survive from Riku. Now he's trying to use it to blast gens. Oh, Ghost Helm up for Adilla. Suppressing those tactical marines there. But here comes Twilali, Adilla fighting too. So he's going to lose the little gen farm that he built up. That he so lovingly built up. Banshee's now decapping this contested VP. Are they going to go for power? They're 2v1. They've got to go for power, surely. Did he not realise that they're 2v1? Big mistake here from the Eldar players on the east side. Here we go.
Alright, well done.
Riku needs support though. Asmon not moving whatsoever.
I can't remember what you said again. It didn't work.
328164. What's he up to?
Alright.
He's going to support Adilla, but just push the east side. Adilla's got his base there. He can retreat back to it and survive. Probably. Guardian Web Team just about getting away. And there's that gravity blade from Adilla's Farseer.
Champion there, but
I'm not entirely sure how much damage it does when it throws you back, but I think it's power melee damage when it does.
look,
Assault squad
that's less than half.
strangely split up there. Oh, it was a really staggered jump. Triple assault marines for Twalali. What is he up to? Jumping around disrupting things, that's what he's up to. And Asmon completely wasted the 2v1 opportunity, did not push whatsoever. Tactical Marines level 3. Really big misplay there. They could have got all those gens pretty easily, I think. Tiger was all alone. And this didn't push at all. Wraithguard losing models now. Those snipers doing actually a really good job. Level 3, one of them. Look at that. But there's the Spirit Stones here. What is this now? Whoa! And then the Wraithguard just wiped out one of the snipers straight up. Assault Terminators for Keltos. That was really unlucky. They were caught bunched up for a moment just as the Wraithguard fired. Wraithguard losing another model. Very slow to move them out was Asmon. Farseer is going to go down. No, does get away. Wraithguard needs to get the hell out of there. Here come Howling Banshees. Good push by the Space Marines. And yeah, Eldar really should have pushed when they could have. Moments like that to decide games. Farseer did go down, but the Whoop Spider revives to level. Double cap for the Eldar. Gonna be a 2-1. Space Marines are taking back their natural. I think so. Asmon, I think, pushed to get the natural instead of doubling it. A mistake, I think. Could have done both pretty easily, I think. Force gone to level 6 now. Adilla's Farseer's up here. There's guide on some allied Warp Spiders. And now a Psychic Storm. Can she get a model with that thing? No. Poor Farseer does not get a model. Now has to retreat all the way back to base. And it's Twalali with triple Assault Marines who's putting pressure on the VP now. Maybe a stroke of genius. Because he can jump over this rock thing. Crater. And get that VP. Alongside a Sacred Standard Force Commander with triple Sacred Standards up. 206144. Asmon is aware of the flank, but Riku is not. But the D-Cannon does get away. They're going after the Farseer instead. Uh-oh. Warp Spiders caught, and they are going to survive because those Assault Marines are now suppressed. 206140. Space Marines will take back the contested. And look at that, they have both naturals. But look at this. Uh-oh. Dire Avengers taking plasma cannon fire while they try to cap there, but now he knows it's there. D-Cannon setting up. Take it to the east side. Who cares about this node? Take it to the east side. 206117. Look at the amount of requisition Asmon have. Land Red Redeemer on the way for Tiger. Did so well for the Space Marines in the first game. Surviving 2 Eldritch Storms. Keltos going for some Librarian action to support his Assault Terminators. Makes them so much more usable to get that Librarian out. Not only do you have Veil of Time, you also have the Gate of Infinity to get them out of trouble. Allows you to use your teleport aggressively rather than defensively all the time. Wraithguard are going to try and shoot up this plasma cannon, are they? Does he know where they were firing from? Maybe he thinks they were over here. 20683. No, just going to try and cap. Oh, here come Dire Avengers to dislodge them. They de-set up, but the Dire Avengers could not throw their grenade. Now they need to retreat. Double Assault Marines wailing on them. They do get away though. And there is the decap from Adilla. He's doing a good job keeping the pressure on his VP right now. 20678. Land Raider is on the field though and sitting there menacingly. Can they deal with this thing? They do have a Haywire. They do have D cannons. They do have Wraithguard and of course Eldritch. Adilla can drop one. So can Asmon. Riku can't since he used red to call in those warp spiders. Oh, nasty Singularity pulling back those retreating units, and that's a dead Tactical Marine squad, I think. No, they get away. Do they? No, they don't get away. Riku's fast Howling Banshees do finish him off. There's the first Eldritch. Strange time to use it, not backing it up with anything. Why would you do that? 20665, maybe he's just slightly panicked at the VPs here. Another Eldritch from Adilla. The Land Raider Redeemer remains. They got to finish it off here. They've got to come in and finish this off. Get the Haywire on it. Get those Wraithguard in it. But there's an Orbital right on the Wraithguard. The Wraithguard not moving there because he's caught by a double who is looking at his Banshees. 20646. Orbital doing a really good job getting the Wraithguard out of there, and that was painful. Smack down goes that Deacon, and that could be a game-winning engagement. The third Eldritch, and it lives. Unbelievable. Survives 3 Eldritch Storms. 206 to 42. Avatar on the way, but Keltor still has double las cannon, so that Avatar might not last very long. It's going to take forever to repair it, but the Land Raider is still there. 19842, but look at this, Adilla keeping the pressure up on this VP, even has Shuriken there to help him hold it. What is this? Fire Prism, Melter Bombed, double Melter Bombed, and that is stacks, so now it can't move and will go down to rear arm hits. 2-to-1 cap for the Eldar, but it's going to be a real struggle to get that contested VP back. Tiger can drop a nuke of his own as well. Down goes that. Was that a D cannon? Some kind of setup team going down. Did not spot what it was. 176-42. Space Marines on track to make this a 2-to-1 victory and remain as faction war champions. D cannon needs to move up. There we go. Banshee's just desperately trying to get the decap here for Asmon. Level 2, but they can't manage it. More Terminators called in, this time for Tiger. Look how they look with the Lunar Wolves. Did not realise the Terminators had those new shoulder pads. 175-33, double cap now for the Space Marines. Can't believe this thing survived 3 Eldritch Storms. You got to back them up, you got to follow up those nukes, and they just couldn't do it. Here's the Avatar. We'll see how it does against double las cannons and double missile launchers, I think. Yeah, it might not end very well. There's a force barrier, nicely used. Adilla trying to keep the pressure up, but that is a plasma cannon and a level 9 force commander. Good grief. Do they get away? Just about. Single cap. Wailing Doom, but they can't. Surely they can't hold on here. Whirlwind going to the east side. They have taken this, but the Avatar won't survive. Down it goes, and then the Space Marines will turn around and cap, and they will take this faction war, I think. Mistakes cost them. Asmon not pushing on that double when he could. Those triple Eldritches not followed up by anything. And there you have it. I think Asmon, naturally wanting to support Adilla, spent a little bit too much time on that west side, and Riku was 2v1 a little bit at the start, which got their power bash and all sorts of things. As you can see, it's bashed right now, and there's the 2-to-1, and there is the game. for the Space Marines. Look at the Force Commanders at the end of the game. Level 7, level 5, level 10. Wow. All with the Sacred Standards. I mean, that was brutal. That was brutal. Double Sacred Standard here with that Line Raider. That's difficult to push. Adilla with a level 5 Farseer had nothing at the end, but that's because he was just pushing this VP so hard to try and keep it. And he kept his team in the game by getting this thing a few times. Twalali, of course, ending the game with triple Assault Marines, level 4, level 4, level 3. Warped Rixart was level 3 with improved targets and entangling web, and a Farseer level 9 with Doombringer, Rune Armor, and Spirit Stones. There you have it, guys. These Space Marines now need to fight either Chaos or the Grey Knights. I think we'll do Chaos next, and we'll see if they can keep this championship run going. Maybe just clear out all of the other factions and be crowned Faction War champions forever. We'll see. Thanks for watching, guys, and of course thank you again to all of the players. Without these guys I could not bring you these faction wars, so the players make this thing happen, and I'll see you next time. Buy anything. He could literally get anything. Is he waiting for another Venerable? Can you have 2 Venerable Dreadnoughts at the same time? I'm not sure if you can. 181, 110. Scout squad gonna go down. These guys level 4. Yes, down they go. That's a big loss. Seratopi's macro letting him down a little bit there. Here, 3v3 Faction War. This is Argent Shelf Redux and Space Marines versus Chaos Game 2. We've got unchanged teams. First up, Z-Talk as a Chaos Sorcerer. We also have Nerland rocking a Chaos Lord, and the Great Cornholio as a Plague Champion over for the Space Marines, who are red. Here, 3v3 Faction War. This is Calderis Refinery and Space Marines versus Chaos Game 1. For the Blue Space Marine team, we've got Dark Riku as an Apothecary support commander that fights in melee combat by default, begins with a targeted heal and a passive health regeneration aura. Alongside Yip Yip is a Tech Marine, starts off range combat, puts out some good damage, can also support with structures and repair. Wade into melee too. Some Blood Ravens on show. Rounding off the Blue Space Marine team, Ace of Swords as a Force Commander of regular offense, fights in melee combat, can also tank, disrupt and support with buffs. Some Lunar Wolves Elite DLC scheme thing, recolored I think. Red Chaos team, first up, Z-Talk as a Chaos Sorcerer, offensive and disruptive commander, lots of manipulation and control abilities with some powerful offense too. This is the Thousand Suns elite scheme, recolored. Alongside Nerland as a Chaos Lord, durable and destructive commander, walks through objects and cannot be suppressed on regular offense, disruption, and fights mainly in melee combat. You can check him out over at twitch.tv/Nerland for some streaming action. And rounding off the teams is the Great Cornholio, playing a Plague Champion. Starts off range combat, damage over time bolter, can get melee weapons, some decent utility and support, can build turrets and repair, but is very slow. Up against Dark Riku on this west side, trying to force off the Plague Champion, and forced off he is. I wonder if anyone is going to get double heretics here. No sign of it right now, with the relatively recent reduction in the melee prowess of heretics. Wondering how much often we see double heretics popping out in 3v3s. Maybe if you're in a very isolated lane, it'll be pretty good, but otherwise, going to get shot down and perhaps not do a whole lot, but we'll see. Heretics coming mid for Nerland to cap, and do we have a 2v2 fight over here? Yeah, I guess we do. So that Chaos have pushed through, and the Sorcerer of Z-Talk is moving towards the power now, and it's fully genned up. They might lose one of them, but I don't think much more than that. Here comes some scouts, and he's shotguns on the way or anything? Nope. He's got some more scouts on the way, Ace. We might see snipers. Although double shotgun scouts can do some work for you perhaps. Not late game though. If it turns into a meat grinder in the mid, snipers will be much more useful there. Riku has pushed through. Not going to engage the generators though. He's going to engage the Chaos Forces of Nerland, who needs to be careful. He's fighting 2v1. He's in a decent position. He's just waiting for his Chaos Lord before he tries to commit the Heretics. And now they have found some scouts with a shotgun blast to the face, and they run away. And it's just the Chaos Lord now. Oh, with some more Havoc, so he can do some work here. And they did defend the power. That's the important thing, I think. The Tech Marine of Yip Yip over on this west side now. Some shotgun scouts of his own. Shotguns all round, I guess. Does Ace have any? Nope, he has gone double snipers, and he's got them up pretty quickly too. Doing good damage to commanders these days. There's some Nurgly worship from Great Conholio has gone double CSM into Havocs. No doubt, yes, we already see Assault Squad for Riku, so he's going to want to get the Plague Sword, or at least Aspiring Champion for the Heretics to try and deal with those guys. But a Plague Sword is so freaking awesome. There's not a whole lot of reason not to get it if you see Assault Marines around. Get stuck in, do some damage, also give you more health these days. Some Raptors on the field for Z-Talk, jumping on some scouts with sniper rifles. He's got two of them to deal with. Some more Heretics might actually be good for Z-Talk with double grenade launchers or something. Some Noise Marines for Nerland. So some varied tier 1s across the board, especially for the Space Marines. We see Yip Yip with Devastators up straight after the Tactical Marines. Can try and support the mid and one of the sides maybe. Oh, the Plague Champion does have the Plague Sword, and Mucus Discharge is on the way, giving him that Breath of Nurgle. Did he get one of the ASM? I don't think so. No, they're still on 3 models. Here comes Nerland to support while he caps that point. Riku pretty much fighting 2 here. Needs to be careful. We do have a zombie Assault Marine, and there's the jump. Didn't actually get anything with it. Might get a hit or 2 on the Tactical Marines. Nope. Takes down the node though before it explodes for Nurgle and all that stuff. We've got Aspiring Champion Heretics for Nerland and tier 2 for Yip Yip. That is a very quick tier 1 indeed. Other players not even thinking about it yet. Riku with some Devastators on the way, so he's going to 1-1-1 in perhaps not the order you usually see it. Usually see the Devastators pop up first. We've got double Raptors for Z-Talk. I don't think that's going to work out very well for him. We'll see. Tempting to do against double scout snipers, but with a Force Commander around, I mean, he's got the Power Sword, but if these guys cause any trouble, he can just get that Thunderhammer up and just wreck them. And look at the damage those Raptors took jumping in there. They need a lot of support if they're going to do any work. Nerland needs to get a bit closer to Z-Talk over there, but they're trying to 2v1 Riku's side, and they are bashing gens. The node is going to go down, I think. One more burst from the Noise Marine Sonic Blossom. No, they back away. The Tactical Marines were coming in to force melee combat, so he wanted to get them out of there before they did, I guess. Kills a scout. Yeah, there's a scout zombie now. Going in on the Devastators. I don't think Riku's noticed. Now he has. There you are. 2v1 in this side. Pretty good. Bashed all the gens and are capping this VP. How quickly can they get up a Blood Crusher or 2 maybe to put some real pressure on, go after those gens hard and shut down the very powerful Space Marine late game. 470 to 355 early on. Space Marines with the VP advantage. Doesn't mean a whole lot when you're not even tier 2 yet though. Don't see anything from Yip Yip. Oh, he's got a plasma gun and Signum, so yeah, that's really bad news for the Raptors unless they try and tie him up. They're going to jump the Devastators, I guess. Nope, they jump the Tactical Marines and then the Devastators, and he's using the overcharge on the plasma gun and doing some serious damage. Now he can maybe put mark target on these guys and shoot them down, at least make them run away. There is the mark target. The Tech Marine himself is forced to run away. And Raptors very lucky not to drop a model. Here comes some Heretics to support, and they get away without losing a model. Holy crap. He actually won that engagement there, Z-Talk, by just staying in maybe a bit too long, but it worked out for him. Didn't drop a model. What's that? That's gone down. That's the Force Commander. Riku should be able to revive for some nice XP. That will get him to well into level 2. And he's going to retake his VP, and they need to retake that power. That power got completely decapped, which is pretty good.
Il m'a lancé.
Cornholio
Ça s'envoie là.
is going to make a shrine mid. I'm not sure who he's asking. You'd expect a shrine from the Plague Champion, I suppose. 392 to 355 now. A single cap for the Chaos players, and they're trying to steal. No, they're still bashing it. It looks like Z-Talk trying to steal it, but Nerland is not following orders, and he's shooting the generators here. Chaos don't always get along, it turns out. Plague Champion does not have an armor yet. They're all pretty damn useful. Well, both of them are. It's only got 2, poor fellow. Grenade Launcher Heretics with an Aspiring Champion. We got Blood Crusher on the way for Cornholio. Yip Yip going for the Librarian. That could do some real work against the Raptors in melee. This guy can hurt you. And also, of course, that Force Barrier is always pretty awesome. His eye's going to go shoot and get a volley off, but doesn't take out a model in retreat. Some good scout play so far from Aces, keeping them moving. Got to get used to that shoot, move, shoot, move, shoot, move, even when it doesn't look like you're in danger, because you can become endangered so quickly in Dawn of War 2. You've got to keep them moving all the time. Havoc's doing their thing. Are we going to see them jumped? Maybe not with the Plague Champion around, but they are jumped, and the Blood Crusher is right there, using his Roar for some reason. I'm guessing wanted them off his Havocs really quickly. And they run away now as a full retreat from Riku. But he does have... He could get... In fact, he's going for Last Cannon immediately. And he could get a Missile Launcher. He's going for a Librarian. That's going to make the Blood Crusher much easier to take down. Able to put Veil of Time on your Devastators with a Las Cannon. And here is Yip Yip's Librarian. Oh, shot out the Smite, but kind of bugged out there. And didn't get the full Smite off, which is a bit weird. Blastmaster doing some work for Nerland. I think he needs to come over to the east side a bit more fully when Z-Talk gets ready. He's got one Raptor squad with the Aspiring Champion. What about the others? In fact, both of them have the Aspiring Champion. Now, can they do some work? What about the Sorcerer? He's got nothing. Cornholio pushing on this west side against Riku. Here's the last cannon. We'll see how the Blood Crusher does. For now, though, he can shoot down that shrine, I would think, from there. Yep, quite easily. No Veil of Time yet for the Librarian. Or Tome of Time is what the actual war gear is called, I believe. There's Drain Life from the Mantle of Hate. But the Force Commander wasn't thrown into the air because he has his shield up, which is pretty annoying for the Chaos Lord, I'm sure. He's going in pretty gun-ho here, the Force Commander, drawing the fire of the entire Chaos army of Nerland there, allowing these scouts to do their thing. Oh wow, big chunks of health coming off that Chaos Lord. He's still level 1, this guy. There's a Dreadnought on the field for Ace. Needs some AV. Plague Marines are on the field for Nerland. Other than that, you do have Raptors with Power Fist who could go into melee, maybe to finish it off. They don't want to go toe-to-toe this guy, though. Is a Plague Marine squad by itself gonna be enough to deal with the Dreadnought? They do have Havocs. Could get a Las Cannon up. Cornholio just dropped his Blood Crusher, no doubt, to the Las Cannon. And do these guys have a Melter Bomb? Yes, they do. So it's most likely a combination of those things. Librarian running into Suppressive Fire. Throws out his Smite, though, and now Riku is free to roam towards this power. And look at the map now. Space Marines are really coming to force into early tier 2. Those Librarians, really good choices for Yip Yip and Dark Riku. And the muscle of the Dreadnought is making Chaos very uneasy in pushing. Chaos Lord reviving the Sorcerer there up to level 2. Plague Marines are not going to chase, turns out. And there's some repairs for the Dreadnought, so it's going to be okay for now. Force going to do some real work still with this Power Sword. Very scary for these Raptors. Takes out the Aspiring Champion there, in fact. Holy crap. That is value for your Power Sword right there. The Power Sword costs less than the leader it just took down. Cornholio now transitioning to the mid, which is smart. Chasing down the Devastators who are trying to bash power, I think. Is that what they were doing? Must have been. So we might see him go for the fist Cornholio, though. That is a big chunk of resources to dump into it. The fist is not cheap. None of them are really these days. Scout squad down to a single model there repairing. These guys bashing power rather than stealing it. I guess that is a thing. Yep. Asking if they should get a beacon up. Ace of Swords wants one. And I guess it will be around the central area. If he does go for it. Tactical Marines here with a Sergeant and Plasma Gun. But the Chaos have taken a mid. And this guy's got a Blood Maul and he's not happy at all. Also, Demonic Facade, which is awesome. There's a Nurgle Shrine also. And is that Chosen Plague Marines I saw from Conholo? Awesome. Love these guys. Uh oh, here comes Rikudo with a flank. Havoc's turning around. Nurgle Worship on... No, he's not actually worshipping the shrine. He's just Nurgle worshipping. So it will be helping out this stuff. Assault Marines jumping in. Chosen Plague Marines going straight after them as you'd expect. The Plague Champion... Where's the Plague? Oh, he's gone down. I was going to say he should be going after the Tactical Marines. I think that's what he was trying to do. But he was shot down there. Chosen Plague Marines are actually in retreat. Did not want to mess with the Space Marines any longer. The Assault Marines, with the help of the Apothecary, staying in the fight pretty nicely. 327 to 280. And yeah, it's looking pretty shaky for the Chaos players right now. Space Marines have really powered through in tier 2 with some smart choices. And they took down the threat of the Blood Crusher very quickly. That came out 30 seconds earlier. Would have been devastating. But there's the concede from the Chaos team. So the Space Marines take the first game here. Apothecary got to level 4, had Armor Purity, his Storm Bolter, and improved medical equipment. We had the Tech Marine at level 3. Plasma Gun, Signum, Force Commander did get the Thunderhammer up in the end. Artificer and Iron Halo, the Sorcerer, still level 1, did have the Robes of Torment, and Chaos Lord level 2, very angry, Mantle of Hate, Blood Maul, Demonic Visage, the Plague Champion, as we saw with the Plague Sword, Nucleus Discharge, but was down at the end. There is the game 1 then, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, well. Not any leg hands. Okay. So you bring it to sell, obviously. So that's illegal? Mm. Whoa. Whoa. I thought we had some food though. I thought we had some food. Okay, got you. 1 minute or saying. Mm. Fair enough. Maybe it's Cam. Mm. Mm. Mini police. Hmm. 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 Should I have to get old? Okay.
We're into Tier 3 Faction War. This is Argent Shelf Redux and Space Marines versus Chaos Game 2. We've got unchanged teams. First up, Z-Talk as a Chaos Sorcerer. We also have Nerland rocking a Chaos Lord and the Great Cornholio as a Plague Champion over for the Space Marines, who are red team this time. Ace of Swords continues with the Force Commander Dark Pricker with his classic Apothecary, and Yip Yip joining us as a Black Templars. Looks like Tech Marine here. Space Marines, of course, taking the first game with some good dynamic Librarian play in Tier 2. Perhaps not expected by the Chaos players. Often you'll see Space Marines kind of settle down into the long game of getting plasma cannons and stuff on that map, which slows them down a little but is very strong later on. But we didn't see that. So we'll get a bit more in the face of the Chaos guys with Librarians. So we'll see what happens this time. Over on the west side, we've got the Chaos Sorcerer of Z-Talk versus the Force Commander of Ace.
Aye.
Going straight after those CSM. If the Heretics move in, he can battle cry them as well, while his main force kites and shoots. There's the Doom Bolts. Was waiting for that. Doesn't quite hit flush. Doom Blast, but look at that battle cry special. Heretics, in fact, just run the hell away. Thousand Suns Elite Scheme recolored again for Z-Talk, and it's the Lunar Wolves Elite Scheme recolored again for Ace of Swords, who takes the first engagement quite handed with those shotguns coming up and pretty much sealing the deal for the west side over there. So it's going to turn, it's going to stay red, I should say, and it's going to push through to the power, maybe take a look at it, maybe take some pot shots before Z-Talk gets back on the field. Meanwhile, in the mid, Chaos Lord and Plague Champion combo, which could be Z-Talk, and it's the Lunar Wolves Elite Scheme recolored again for Ace of Swords, who takes the first engagement quite handed with those shotguns coming up and pretty much play in tier 2. Perhaps not expected by the Chaos players. Often you'll see Space Marines kind of settle down into the long game of getting plasma cannons and stuff on that map, which slows them down a little but is very strong later on. But we didn't see that, so they'll get a bit more in the face of the Chaos guys with Librarians. So we'll see what happens this time. Over on the west side, we've got the Chaos Sorcerer of Z-Talk versus the Force Commander of Ace. Going straight after those CSM. If the Heretics move in, he can battle cry them as well, while his main force kites and shoots. There's the Doom Bolts. Was waiting for that. Doesn't quite hit flush. Doom Blast, but look at that battle cry special. Heretics, in fact, just run the hell away. Thousand Suns Elite Scheme recolored again for Z-Talk, and it's the Lunar Wolves Elite Scheme recolored again for Ace of Swords, who takes the first engagement quite handed with those shotguns coming up and pretty much sealing the deal for the west side over there. So it's going to turn, it's going to stay red, I should say, and it's going to push through to the power, maybe take a look at it, maybe take some pot shots before Z-Talk gets back on the field. Meanwhile, in the mid, Chaos Lord and Plague Champion combo, which could be very, very deadly. The sheer aggression of the Chaos Lord would combine with the staying power of the Plague Champion could be a very annoying combo. Heretics are moving in, trying to, in fact, stay clear of the scouts, who dropped 2 models very quickly there. Good play by Nerland, recognizing the threat of the shotguns and shooting down a couple of scouts. That's not nothing, they're like 22 requisition to reinforce, I think. Almost 2 Heretics. In fact, is it exactly 2 Heretics? Are Heretics 11 to reinforce now? They might be. And Chaos have pushed all the way through the middle. 454 to 499, 2-to-1 cap for the Space Marine team very early, but that's going to change because both naturals, I think, are going to turn blue here. Z-Talk needs to be able to hold this power though. We have double scouts, one with a sergeant, one with shotguns. Down goes the Chaos Sorcerer. That's going to be a problem because both of his allied heroes are all the way up the field, and not having his sorcerer around is going to delay kind of retaking ground on this west side. I think he's going for some havoc to try and control this Force Commander a little better. Got a double CSM, but he's having trouble so far. Heretics with the Aspiring Champion down to just 3 models. Are actually running away, are they? Nope. Just a misclick. I think they were trying to go for the Force Commander to Doom Blast him. Scouts with Sergeant, and now getting some shotguns. These CSM are in for a nasty surprise, I should say. Once this goes off, there we go. There's a shotgun blast. Now the Force Commander can smack them around and actually gets a model off them. Force Commander hitting level 2. Here are the Havocs. I'm going to set up before they get caught. So there's a Doom Blaster and flee. And there's the Havocs, and Ace sees it and backs away as he should do. Red Space Marine team retaking their natural hit. Everyone backs the hell off. Plague Champion is in there, getting his Plague Sword again. There it is. Needs some healing. Nurgle Worship goes up. And Noise Marines and Havocs for Nerland. So they pushed maybe a little bit too hard there. The Chaos players should have backed off a tad bit sooner, because they might get pushed all the way back and lose their power here. And I don't think they bash power themselves. Maybe they did actually, I'm not sure. They took a bit out of that node. Cornholio losing his Heretics, that's not a massive deal. I'm not sure if they were upgraded or not. He replaces them as he should do. And we do see 2 Heretic squads for Nerland, so my question of will anyone ever get double heretics in the first game has been answered. It's Nerland who gets them. Yip with some Devastators. Riku with Assault Marines. And they are smacking around power gens, and they might take all 3 of these down before the Chaos players can defend. Sorcerer is still down over here. They do have 2 generators up though, but it's still red on the VP. Double scouts, perhaps getting infiltrating and stuff. Could be dicey for those Havocs eating grenades. Devastators covering loads of Marines and the Tech Marines range prowess as well, alongside the Assault Squad ready to jump anything that tries to dig in. We also have the customized Storm Battle for the Apothecary, so lots of shootiness. Things just exploding over there. There's some Nurgle worship. And they launch a barrage from the Heretics. Will knock over the Devastators, but can they follow it up? Maybe with a Chaos Lord sprinting in. Where the hell is he? He's over here for some reason. Oh, I guess he went to revive the Sorcerer over there. Plague Champion is where now? Here he comes. Mucus Discharge and the Plague Sword trying desperately to get in amongst some stuff. There we go. Special attack on the Apothecary. Now it's going to smack him around, doing big chunks of damage. That sword, of course, ignoring melee resistance, as it says right at the end there of that tooltip, which is a massive deal. Nothing else in the game in terms of melee weapons, I'm pretty sure, ignores melee resistance. Melee resistance, if you don't know, is a 40% damage reduction that certain units have to melee damage. Units associated with melee usually, but also stuff like regular tactical marines and that kind of thing. Grenade is dodged, 328, 472, and it's a single cap for the Space Marine team, but looks like Chaos are going to take this western side, maybe. Yeah, Force One's going to go down. Heretics are now in a fight with Heretics. Sorry, Tactical Marines are now in a fight with Heretics. Heretics do often fight among themselves, I'm pretty sure. This guy getting away with Justice, Parent Champion. Oh, was that a sneaky Chaos Lord who capped the VP? Yes, he did. Well done, you. Now it's a really long retreat back to base. And Chaos need to defend their own VP. Plague Sword taking down a Tactical Marine, giving him a zombie that can shoot at some things. But the squad does get away pretty fine. And then they can try and cap up the mid a little bit. Don't ignore this power either. That +4 power for the entire game can be vital. Riku coming to the west side. Not sure if Cornholo spotted him there. Don't think he did. So this might be a nasty 2-to-1 for Z-Talk to deal with. Double infiltrated scouts moving up and nothing here to spot them. Recognizes the 2v1 and should be retreating everything out here. Assault Marines fighting Raptors. Raptors, you need to run away, fellas. Trying to jump out. Should have just retreated. Wants to obviously keep them in play to try and hold up this power bash, but oh, he does have a little bit of support. Some Heretics here, the Chaos Sorcerer and a Chaos Lord coming in. Doom bolts flying out, 326 to 420, 2-to-1 for the blue team. Plasma Cannon on the way for Dark Riku, and that is a Whirlwind on the way for Yip. Dreadnought for Ace of Swords, just as he did in the first game, trying to get that quick Dreadnought up to really put some pressure on and force some anti-vehicle purchases. Which is not always what you want to do. Scouts level 2 here. We have tier 2 now for Nerland. Space Marine is getting tier 2 way quicker than the Chaos players. They've done a lot with few units in tier 1. Chaos started off well pushing through, but they just stayed around a little bit too long and they paid for it with a power bash, and they were kind of stuck around here for a while and took some losses pushing back through, I think. 314, 415. You will see Space Marines pushed back quite often in opening engagements, but if you're not killing stuff, I don't mind too much. because they will come back stronger. Z-Talk now going to decap that VP. Some grenade barrages going off. Chaos Lord leveling to 2. And this is a good little engagement for the Chaos players. Switching it up a bit, not going straight through the mid. Instead, going for this little power lane here. There's a Dreadnought though. They don't want to mess with him. Uh-oh, Raptor's going down. That Mucus Discharge, Breath of Nurgle not going off quite quickly enough. Whose Raptors were they? Am I just seeing things? Were those Cornholio's Raptors? Not sure. Maybe I am seeing things. But here's a Dreadnought. This is real. It's going to find double CSM with Eternal War, who in no circumstances want to fight this thing. And now Whirlwind coming into play. You don't want to jump in there, Raptors. Back away. Ace of Swords did say Raptors down. So someone did lose Raptors. And they weren't Z-Talks. They were... Maybe they were Nerlens actually. I think they were blue. What are you wearing, Cornholio? Oh, he's kind of blue as well. I'm not sure then. Does have Elmo on his shoulder pad as well there, which is pretty cool. Oh, Dawn of War 2. And your awesome badges. What's going on west side? Uh-oh, Power Fist is in play. Dreadnought is flaming down some generators. Not looking good for Chaos here. We do have Plague Marines up for 2 players, so if they can get together, take some shots at the Dreadnought, may have to do some work, but there are Assault Marines around to jump them. These guys with their Sergeant gives them Merciless Strike, which is really bad news for these Heretics. Not sure why these Heretics are worshipping here, that's a mistake. And now they're off the field, and that could set up a really nasty push. Doesn't have that Doom Blast to suppress these guys, and no more worship either. Well, here comes the Plague Champion, and he can do some work with this Plague Sword. Smack. One more hit, might get a model, maybe? No, they live. Somehow they live and jump away and get away without a model loss, which often happens with Assault Marines, especially when they're supported by an Apothecary. Can be very, very annoying. Havoc's almost being shot down. In fact, they will be shot down by double Tactical Marines with Plasma Guns. Nicely done by Yip Yip, pulling some in with a drop pod maybe somewhere. Yeah, there. So more losses for the Chaos players, but they're still in this. 3-0-1 to 4-0-3. Getting their power capped is not good though. Devastators and a Whirlwind behind the shot blocker being really annoying. There's the barrage. Can they get these Marines onto... Oh, these guys are already onto the Whirlwind. This is a dead Whirlwind, I think. Trying to get on rear armor as well. Yeah, definitely going down. Just one more shot from either of these guys. There we go. Down goes the Whirlwind. So there's something for the Chaos players to rally around. Maybe get a push going up this east side, because that's a full retreat, looks like. And shoot down that drop pod too, but Z-Talk continues to have troubles on this west side. Got some Plague Marines of his own. Plague Marines, as usual, seems a pretty strong unit these days. With decent anti-infantry damage, good anti-vehicle damage, and some serious durability on their side. 283 to 403. Bashing power here. Drop pod will act as reinforcement points. They might want to shoot this thing down too. We'll give you some red as well, I believe. Does it give XP? I'm not sure. Are you going to give you revived maybe at some point? No, Chaos Lord's all the way over on this side. I don't think the Plague Champion is going to slog over there either. So he's going to need to repurchase or do without him for now. Tactical is level 3 here for Dark Riku. And the Space Marine players are starting to go into Tier 3. Riku calling in some Vanguard veterans with Lightning Claw, 2 Power Swords and a Thunderhammer. And that Thunderhammer does have the 15% chance to knock back passively. Which is pretty awesome. Nurgle Shrine very aggressively placed by Cornholio. Might give his team some staying power here. And Chosen Plague Marines are on the field. They might want to turn around and fight those Vanguard veterans who are right now going toe to toe with Mark of Khorne Chaos Space Marines. And Vanguard veterans do run away. In a stand-up fight, I believe Khorne Marines will win that. But against Vanguard veterans, maybe not. Especially if they're not leveled. Looks like they did have a little bit of support. Vanguard veterans do get away just fine. No, there's a Noxious Cloud. landing on those Devastators combined with Nurgle's Rot gets him some zombies there, and Chaos really pushing through the mid here. And they need to, because the west side is very red, so they need to either commit one of the players to help this west side a lot, and I mean help take out some stuff, or they need to stay very solid on the mid. Holy crap, Plasma Cannon shot almost insta-gibbing the entire Heretics, but the aspiring champion does live. This Dreadnought's been a massive pain in the ass, almost level 3. Done some work over there, that guy. Nurgle Shrine now being repaired by some Heretics. Multiple Heretics. In fact, the Plague Champion himself can also repair, which I always thought was a bit weird for a Nurgle champion, but there you go. He's going to get shot down. The generators, yes, and decaps. Now you should move away, Mr. Plague Champion. Mark target goes down on him. Does he have Breath of Nurgle off cooldown to use? I guess not, but he's running back to the shrine, and this shrine has been awesome for them over here. Really good choice to put that up from Cornholio. It would not have this staying power without it. They've got a Blastmaster doing work, a bunch of Heretics to support and disrupt and suppress. Vanguard veterans jump in and jump straight back out again. Holy crap, they took a lot of damage there. They just wanted to disrupt the Blastmaster, I think. So these guys could get the decap, and there is the decap. Guys are kind of setting up. That could be nasty, especially if it shoots at the shrine and takes it down. Chosen Plague Marines are on capping duty for some reason. What are you up to, fellas? Get in there and tie some stuff up. He really wants this power, Cornholio. That's a very strange choice. But they're doing okay with it. They're still pushing back the Space Marine players. Devastators will set up, and they will suppress the Chosen Plague Marines, who need to get back and reinforce. They're not as affected by suppression as other units. In fact, they're just going to charge it down here. Holy crap. They do around 20 DPS power melee with their knives, but then they do heavy melee damage over time, which can stack indefinitely these days, although it doesn't last forever, of course. It's 5 seconds per swing, I believe. If you've got 3 of them swinging, I can add up on the single target. Land Raider Redeemer coming out of base for Yip Yip, as you just saw. And Z-Talk still struggling to hold on to his power for any length of time. Sorcerer is also still down, but here comes the Chaos Lord with Mantle of Hate. Can try and control that Force Command, maybe? What's he up to? There he comes. Heretics not Doom Blasting for whatever reason. What is this? Is this Terminators with Ace of Swords? Must be. Yep, Assault Terminators no less. Hitting the field, looking pretty awesome in the Lunar Wolves Elite scheme. Taking down the Sorcerer immediately after being revived. Sometimes it cannot be helped. You retreat immediately and still go down. 227 to 338. Chaos still have the natural, but looks like the might of the Land Red Redeemer has pushed them off it. Took some damage though while it did so. We do have 5 Plague Marine squads on the field. No, I'm wrong. There's 4. These are Chosen Plague Marines. Still don't have their own portrait, unfortunately. 2-1 though. Now for Space Marines, and it's up to Chaos to push back, and surely they're going to try and double the west side. They have to. Noland has a sizable army, could come over and do some damage. But again, this power is being retaken, and Space Marines are not resting beside this Land Raider. They are pushing through to at least retake the middle and try and hold some ground, give themselves a buffer for their VP area. Scouts can now, of course, retreat back to the Land Raider, which is a massive help for the red team in the mid. Ace of Swords taking on 2 armies, not quite. This is still just Z-Talk over here. Force Commander, wow, he's level 8. He's gone absolutely ballistic with his Power Fist. Artificer and Teleporter also, so he's got mobility, tankiness, and damage. Force Commander can become so powerful if you invest in him. Shrine goes up from Cornholio. Oh, we have a Marco Zinch Dreadnought. That will help take down the Land Raider if you can get close enough. There's the Frenzied Barrage, which will suppress anything it hits. Does very little damage these days, it seems. Blastmaster getting the shots off. Plague Marines with marked target on them need to be careful, maybe. They are backing off. Doesn't last too long, marked target. Z-Talk coming to the middle. Abandoning the west side. I thought they were going to double the west side. Looks like they are just tripling mid. 171333. Get the feeling this might be the last big push for Chaos. They can't get to that Land Raider and either take it out or really make it limp back home. They might be in trouble because Ace is also coming in from the back here. What is that? That's an orbital. That could be nasty. Yeah, lifts up a whole bunch of stuff. Holy crap. Massive amount of stuff gonna die, or at least be damaged. A nice nuke by whoever dropped that. I believe it was Ace, not sure though. Unless someone else had absolutely tons of red, wasn't paying attention to that. Predator tank now in the field. Just another thing, another dimension for the Chaos players to have to deal with here. 2-1 still for the Space Marine players. Dreadnought taking hits. It's level 3 with Dark Age of Technology though. Up to 1752 hit points. Plague Marines getting obliterated there. Still 2 squads taking shots at the Dreadnought though. And there's the concede from the Chaos players. They just could not deal with what the Space Marines were bringing here. Look at this army. Land Raider, Predator tank. Huge amounts of Marines with plasma guns. A scary Tech Marine. It was all kicking off there. And again, Space Marines are triumphant. 2-0 in this faction war. We will take a look at the third game, of course. But they haven't lost for a while, Space Marines. Chaos Sorcerer, wow, he's still level 1 at the end of the game. Really had a rough time against that Force Commander. Level 4 Chaos Lord with Dominic Lesage, Mantle of Hate and the Bloodmaw. We have a level 3 Paid Champion, Plague Sword, Mucus Discharge, level 9 Force Commander. Really wrecking some face over on the west side. And level 4 Apothecary. Same build as the last game, and a level 4 Tech Marine with Plasma Gun and Signum. There we go, guys. 2-0 for the Space Marines. We'll go into the last game, see if they can whitewash the Chaos. But thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Here, 53 Faction War. This is Angel Gate and Space Marines versus Chaos Game 3. A few changes to the teams. Dark Rick, who's gone all traitory and is now playing a Chaos Lord. We have a Guxis joining in as a Plague Champion, and Z-Talk continuing on the Chaos side as a Sorcerer. There he is for the Red Space Marine team. Yip Yip continues as a Tech Marine. Ace of Swords switching to Apothecary, and Max Power joins as a Force Commander. Now, as you've hopefully already seen, this is a victory for the Space Marines in the bag already, with the first 2 games going to them. And as you may have also noticed by the length of this video, this third game is not very long. So I'm going to take this opportunity to talk about the faction wars and what I'm thinking about doing going forward. As you may have noticed, it's been a long time coming getting these faction wars going. It's June already, and this is when they start, apparently. A lot of people have been asking me to do them. Being very busy lately this year in general, dealing with this and that. Not had much chance to play or cast really. Haven't actually played Dawn of War 2 for over a month, which is pretty sad because this is like my favourite game ever. But as always, and continuously so, it's very difficult to get these faction wars going. Even someone like me, who's lucky enough to know a lot of Dawn of War 2 players, it's very tough to get them all together at the same time, to sit down for 2 hours, maybe war, suffer through disconnects and rage and attitudes, and get some games going. And that's why we often have to switch players in the third game or halfway through, because players just can't play all 3 games. So I think moving forward, I'm going to maybe go back to the original Faction War format, which was, looks like the Apothecary is going to go down. Yep, which was a single game at a time. Now I will be keeping the winner stays on format because I quite like that idea. I mean, they're not the most competitive thing ever, Faction Wars, but at least if it's winner stays on, there is something to fight for. And of course, Space Marines will still be on. They've technically not lost yet since the 2015 Faction War, which is pretty crazy. They are very powerful in this format of tripling up the factions together and going at it, it seems. So yes, going forward we'll be switching to the single game format which will hopefully allow me to get a lot more faction wars up, because it's a lot easier for players to sit down and play for 30 or 45 minutes and get a game down than the length of time it often takes to get an entire faction war while dealing with everything that goes along with this game. The strange lobby system and disconnects and everything else. So hopefully we'll have those up shortly. There is some leeway to experiment with it. I mean, if one of the games is really, really good or something and all of the players are up for it, we can have an instant rematch and do it that way. But in general, we're going to have the winner stays on single match format for faction wars moving forward. And it's going to be Space Marines next, and you can let me know in the comments who you want them to take on next out of the other factions. Not Chaos, of course, because they just fought them. But we will pit them against something and see what happens, if anyone can take them down. 2-1, there's a double cap here, sorry, for the Chaos team. Dark Prickers of Chaos Lord running away. Here we see some Assault Marines jumping in, not actually knocking down the Havocs because they already started their retreat. And it's Ace with some Tactical Marine Scouts without shotguns this time. Some Raptors for Z-Talk fighting over the bottom of Angel Gate, which is often very, very boring early on. The players will often tussle over these two gens until like tier 2-ish, maybe even midway through tier 2 before they start thinking about the center and then just poking around the generators from then on. Yip Yip just came in as a public player to these faction wars and did very well, so thank you to him for sticking around for these. If he wasn't there, we wouldn't be able to do them. I couldn't even fill the lobby if it wasn't for a random player showing up and doing well. Hopefully I can keep the Space Marine team together of Dark Riku, Ace of Swords and Yip Yip going forward for the single games of winner stays on, but there's absolutely no guarantees of that. Chaos Space Marines here forced off. This is a pretty cool colour scheme for Augustus. He's got a Plague Champion with a Plague Sword. We've seen Plague Sword in all 3 games for the Plague Champion. It's a pretty cool piece of war gear. But yeah, cool scheme too. Look at this. With a Tau badge, it looks like. Noise Marines for Dark Riku into some Havocs here. More Raptors for Z-Talk. He tried double Raptors in the first game. Didn't quite pay off against a Force Commander. He's against a Force Commander now, but Max has gone for the Chainsword, which makes it make a little bit more sense that he's got the Raptors up, although he can block their suppression jump if he turns on his defend ability also. I'm not sure if defend removes suppression that's already active, or if it just prevents you from being suppressed to begin with, kind of thing. I think it does just give you instant immunity. Plague Champion is switching to the Biospear from the Plague Sword pretty early on. What you see there is the Apothecary's purifying, what are they called again? Purification Vials, there we go. Which is what killed him earlier on. 496 to 326. Pressure from the Chaos players, Biospear and Noise Marines. With those 2 things up, the generators are not going to last long, that's for sure. Might be able to get the Noise Marines all the way over to here. Drop pod coming in from Yip Yip. Tactical Marines into the field immediately. Chaos being aggressive as they need to early on. We do have the Combi Flamer for the Chaos Sword. First time we've seen that in these faction wars, I believe. Looks like the Plague Champion is going after those generators over there. What is this? Oh, it's the Apothecary throwing his Purification Vials on the Havocs. Might take him out. Might take him out. Not quite. Apothecary revives himself with the Lariman's Blessing, which is that fancy fire effect back at base. Used to just stand you up, of course, where you died in Elite, which was pretty funny, I thought. Space Marine players not too confident of their chances. Drop pod being destroyed by the Chaos Lord just walking through here. And there is the concede. These Space Marine players did concede right at the end, which is one of the reasons I want to switch this back to a single match faction war, because when it comes to the 3rd game, if one team already has a 2-0 victory, you often see a very short 3rd game where players don't really care what's going on. Riku's CSM there. Let's have a look at the commanders in the game. Who got the highest level in 7 minutes or whatever this game was? All level 2, level 1, level 1, level 1. Ooh, level 2 is the highest. Chaos Lord and the Plague Champions win. He was bashing gens as well, this guy. So he was kind of cheating, getting XP that way. Chaos Lord did it the honest way by killing stuff. But there we go, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Big thanks to all the players who turned out for the faction war and makes these things possible. I will see you next time. Hey people, into Tier 53 Faction War. This is Greysock, Undercity and Tyranids versus Imperial Guard. For the Tyranid team, we have a Guxis who's in a tunnel right now, playing a Ravener Alpha. Good mobility and offense, a little bit of support too, begins in range combat but can get to melee weapons. Can also build those tunnels, of course. Alongside Freeman as a Lictor Alpha, a melee specialist, can infiltrate and disrupt. Some awesome offense and a bit of support too, and rounding off the Tyranid team.
I ain't got room in this. They come find again, so you know what I'm saying.
Orion needs your magic. Let's get to work.
Try in there.